Welcome back to the Frozen Forum podcast. This is season 2, episode 6. We have played 3 games since we have last talked to you guys. We played the Bruins, then the Blue Jackets, then the Capitals. We were also in a playoff spot last time we talked to you guys. Now we have a lot to discuss about. But Alex, how are you doing?
I was really sad last night. I was really sad Tuesday night. I could not believe we got a point Saturday night. This team has to be the most volatile team I've watched in a very long time. We start the season off as one of the best teams in the NHL, honestly. We're playing good hockey. We were playing good defensively. We were playing good offensively. We were doing everything we're supposed to do. The goalies weren't really there, which made some of those games a lot closer than they should have been. But we were still coming out with wins. We were still battling.
And
Where'd we go? What happened? I don't understand.
I don't know. This is the thing that we were hearing from other fan bases, that the Habs haven't had real tough challenges, and they have been tougher teams. I will give them that. However, man, our goaltending it's gotta step up, or we just bring in Fowler right now. Because
with that in mind, you're getting so far ahead of me in so many of the things that you're saying. I do have 10 questions for you, Nathan. I think we should do this right at the beginning of the podcast, because otherwise you're going to spoil all the questions that I have for you. Let's do this. This is the Frozen Forum Flash, where I ask Nathan 10 questions. He's got 30 seconds each. As a reminder to everybody, this will get posted in the Frozen Forum Flash post as well. We have a giveaway for everybody. So before we get into our Frozen Forum Flash, make sure that you subscribe, you drop a like, comment. For all of the subscribers who are subscribed, when we hit 100 subscribers, you will be entered into a giveaway. Massive giveaway. Unbelievable prize that will be unveiled once we get to 100. We are 6 away. So if you are one of the 6, you got a chance. So make sure you drop that comment. But let's get into it. I got 10 questions for you, Nathan. I got 30 seconds approximately for each one. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, question number 1 for you. Was pulling Samuel Montembeault last night after allowing the 3rd goal of the game the right coaching decision?
I think yes. We're against the Washington Capitals. They're playing real damn good this season, and it was his 3rd goal in 10 shots. Yeah, I think it's the right call. You rely on Dobish to make something, get some sort of spark going, but man, I know earlier we talked about leaving the goaltender in because it destroys their confidence, but when you're against a team like the Capitals, I think Let's
go to question number 2. The both goaltenders in the NHL currently are facing, you've already touched on the subject a little bit. So, should the Montreal Canadiens call up Jacob Fowler from the AHL? He has a .921 save percentage, 2.32 goals against average, and 3 shutouts in the AHL so far this season.
Yes. If you have been watching the podcast, you know I'm always an advocate for, if there's a guy in the AHL that we think could do well on the Habs, why not just bring him up and see what he can do and give him a little bit of experience? Let's bring out Jacob Fowler up. And which of the 2 do you send down? I am going to say,
we have space on the roster. We wouldn't have to send anybody down necessarily, but we could bring him up on the roster.
Yes, bring Jacob Fowler up. Let's see what he can do.
I like it. Going to question number 3. Injuries are very real. The team is very young, youngest in the NHL this season. Does everyone in the fan base just need to take a step back and calm down?
Yeah, I think that's a key thing. We have played one of the least amount of games of any teams in the league this season. We've played 20. A few teams have played 21 and 22. And by no means are we out of this playoff race. We're just 2 points behind. We just got to simmer down. We had a hot streak. We had a cold streak. We'll get back on track. Things will change.
Question number 4 for you. We are out of a playoff spot, as you just said, for the first time since the 3rd game of the season. How long until we are back in a playoff spot?
Look, I think it'll be sooner than we think. Like I said earlier, we have been up against some tougher teams this last little stretch here. I think as the quality of the teams that we're going to be playing soon diminishes, we're going to be getting more points. We'll be back in that playoff race within the next 3 weeks. We'll be back in a playoff spot.
3 weeks. I like it. And finally, obviously, we've been talking about second line centers. I just want to throw a ball out there that nobody else is throwing. Would you trade for Elias Pettersson?
Nah, I would not. After seeing last night's game, I'm liking this idea more and more of Tage Thompson. We really just need a big forward who can actually stand up for other guys, because, oh my God, the amount of hits we were taking and nobody standing up for one another, it's just brutal out there. You just got to have some sort of support. So we need a bigger guy. We need a guy like Tage Thompson. We don't need Elias Pettersson.
Got it. Let's go into the rest of the NHL. We talked about it last week. I think you would agree right now that Celebrini and Connor Bedard, at least from the outside of the Team Canada management team, feel like locks to make the Olympics. They're playing out of their mind. But can we add a third horse to that race? Should eight-phenom defenseman Matt Schaefer be on Team Canada for the Olympics?
This is a hot topic. I know last episode we were saying our last two D-men should be Dobson and Matheson, but Schaefer's making a real good case for himself. Look, I think he's earned his spot. Like, when you look back at that 2010 team, we had a bunch of young guys. We had Crosby, who was also young in the league, and they had a huge impact on that team. Well, he obviously had a massive impact on that team. I think, yeah, bring in these young guys that they can get that leadership experience that'll carry through with Team Canada for the next 2-3 Olympics, and then more of these 4-nation face-offs and whatever, just to build that leadership experience. And yeah, I really think he has earned his place.
I like it.
Also, to clarify, I'll clip this out later. We were getting chirped very heavily on one of our clips last week.
I responded on the YouTube comments for this one. I did see this.
We are taking Makar and Taves. It was just not in the clip. Makar and Taves will be on the defensive pairings of Team Canada. It just was...
come on, guys. We're not that dumb. Like those two are considered the locks. We needed to fill out the other 6 defensemen of the team. That's pretty good. I saw a lot of really funny comments about it, at least on YouTube. I haven't looked at the other platforms, but I can't imagine it's any better over there. Let's go on to question number 7 for you. I know last week, one of the questions I asked you was to find a flaw with the Colorado Avalanche, but man, what a hockey team. The question for you today: will the Colorado Avalanche beat the all-time record for most points in a season, which was set by the Boston Bruins just in 2022 and 2023? They had 135 points. And to put that into perspective, that's 14.5 losses on the season. So if you take overtime losses as being half a loss, 14.5 net losses. Do you think Colorado bests that this season?
Look, when I last checked their record, they were 13-1-5.
14-1-5 as of today.
14-1-5. Man, this team has everything they need. Like, they've got the goaltending, they've got the defense, they've got the forwards. I know this completely contradicts what I said last week, but I was clip farming. Yeah, I think they can do it. This team is just so good. And honestly, the dogs that you'd think about in the NHL, like the Panthers or the Stars, I just don't think they compare with the Avalanche and how they're looking like right now. They're just so deep. And McKinnon's playing out of his damn mind. So yeah, I think the Avalanche can get it done.
This season, you heard it here first. Colorado Avalanche will have more than 135 points in the regular season. Question number 8 for you. If your name does not have a Connor or a Mac in it, are you allowed to be in the top 4 of NHL scoring?
I guess not. I guess another contingency is you have to be a first overall pick. You have to be one of those 3 things to be in the top 4 of NHL scoring. Yeah, I saw that stat the other day. And then I saw some of Celebrini's stats. He's tied for with Crosby and Gretzky for teenagers to get to 17 points in the NHL. Same amount of games to get to 17 points with Gretzky and Crosby. This kid's the real deal.
Or 17?
17 points in a season.
Well, like in a season?
Yeah, 17 points in a single season, yeah. They're the real deal. Connor McDavid, we already knew. Nathan McKinnon, we already knew. Celebrini and Bedard are proving it this year.
4 Canadians right there.
Yeah,
let's go into number 9. Big topic in the NHL this season has been parity. The idea that all of the teams are close. On a scale from OMG, the league has no parity whatsoever, to literally every game is a 50-50, how much parity is there in the NHL right now?
Every game's 50-50. I mean, I was watching NHL on TNT the other day, and they were talking about just the sheer quantity of games that are going to overtime this year is unlike anything we have seen. I think they said ever. Like, there are just so many games going to overtime, and I want to build on this later because we are seeing all these games going to overtime. Do you think the NHL should switch to a 3-2? We can talk about that later.
This is honestly not as hot of a topic as you think it is. We'll go to question number 10, though. I like your answer here. The question number 10 revolves around last night's game. Alex Ovechkin is officially 10th all-time in points, scoring a bajillion against the Habs last night as usual. My question to you is this. If Alex Ovechkin had played his entire career only facing, for 82 games a season, the Montreal Canadiens, how large would his lead be over Wayne Gretzky's current record today?
For goals, you're saying?
For everything. Points, everything.
Points, he would be on par with Gretzky. Goals, he would be damn near 1.5 times the amount of goals Wayne Gretzky had. Yeah, I was looking at these stats after the game yesterday, and Alex Ovechkin averages 1.5 or 2 points a game against the Habs. It's just absurd, and he gets a hat trick against.
Honestly, I know 2 points per game would put him over Gretzky for his career.
So yeah, he'd be around Gretzky for the points, a little bit, surpassing him by a little bit, and goals, just like I said, probably 1.5 times the amount.
There you go. So Ovechkin, everybody. What a game. Okay, let's go. Now that I've asked you all of the questions I want to ask you, and we don't have to spoil anything. Before we go into the actual game analysis, I want to see if you can find 3 people to be stars of the week. I think it's hard.
I was going to ask you because I didn't have 3 stars.
Yeah, I'm going to give you mine, and you might disagree with me on these, but let's see. I think the first star of the week needs to go to Juraj Slafkovsky. He's taken off the first line, but so far, him playing with Ivan Demidov and Oliver Kapanen has looked okay. But more importantly, Slafkovsky's looked like he's driving play. And I think that anytime you can get a guy like Slafkovsky with the puck more, where now he's sort of feeling like he should be taking the leadership role. He should be trying to play with the puck more instead of just passing it off to Suzuki or Caulfield and getting in front of the net. It's a win. I think he's the first star. I'd like to throw out a second star to Joe Veleno, who I've been really low on for most of the season. Scores a goal against Washington, plays his best game of the season against Washington, in and around the puck the whole time. I thought he was playing really well last night. I thought he was playing really well the night before. Finally, my third star, which could have been my second star, shout out Lane Hutson, who absolutely dominated the game against Columbus. The only reason we get a point in that game is because of Lane Hutson. The only reason that we're anywhere close to being in it is because of Lane Hutson. The other 2 games as well, kid's been insane. Had some falls, had some, lost edges or whatever. I thought he's been playing very good defensively. He's been clearing pucks. He's been battling properly. He's been, making his presence known. I give him the third star of the week.
I think that's an excellent 3 stars because I couldn't give you anything. But yeah, I agree with the Hudson one. I maybe would have put him 2 over Veleno, but yeah, he gets his first goal, so I guess that earns him that second star. Yeah, I have no real comments on that. I think that's pretty solid considering what we saw this past week. We did see Brendan Gallagher get his first of the year last night.
That goal was almost not a goal. I don't know if you saw that replay of that, but it was something.
This is just brutal. Looking at the stars of the game, 3 goals for Ovechkin, 1 assist for him. 2 goals for Ethan Frank and 2 assists for him as well. Who is that? This is the epitome of the Habs right now.
Look, I mean, we lose Jake Evans to a hit last night against Tom Wilson. It's probably an elbow to the head. It's probably a 5-minute major, but it's against the Habs, so obviously it's not a penalty.
Shout out to Dylan Strome last night for playing the hockey game, even though his wife had the birth of his 3rd child. I heard it was
low key disrespectful. Like, why are you on the ice? Like, what are you doing?
Well, in his defense, that's what I thought too. It was super premature, so it wasn't supposed to happen.
But when did she go to the hospital?
It must have happened when he was in Montreal. I don't know. We can look at Twitter later, but I'm not going to speculate. Congratulations.
I wanted to throw out here. I don't know if you're familiar with the game score stat that Dom Luszczyszyn came up or has created. It's supposed to give a quantifiable measure for how good a player was in a certain game. It's a game score, right? Lane Hutson's performance against Columbus, 5.3. To give you context on that, the best single game performance this entire season is Jacob Chychrun with 6.7. The worst game score for the season is Logan Mailloux over there in St. Louis with a minus 8.2. But that Lane Hutson stat, that leads the Montreal Canadiens. That's the highest they've ever had this season as a game score.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a goal and an assist in that 3rd period. He carried us through to overtime. And then it just didn't go away in the shootout, but there's nothing you can do there. Another stat about that St. Louis game. Nick Suzuki. Do you know when his last shootout goal was, by chance?
Yo, isn't he 0 for freaking 19 or something?
He's 0 for 13, and his last shootout goal was November of 2013. Or 2023. Do
you remember when he did the Datsuk?
Yes, I do remember that.
He did that move twice. Worked twice. Stop doing it.
Started shooting.
What are we doing? Why is everybody on this team overthinking things? This is actually a great time to move into my favorite segment. Why is the Montreal Canadiens power play shit? Okay? So, let's get into it. Holy mother of God. How stupid is this coaching staff? I watched this power play last night. Okay, we scored on the power play last night, by the way. Second unit. Why do we score on the second unit? Because Brendan Gallagher is standing in front of the. Okay, you watched that freaking first unit on the power play. I have never seen the Washington
Charlie
defender.
Lindgren see everything. They just let Charlie Lindgren.
The Washington defender was screening Charlie Lindgren better than we were.
I know. They just let Charlie Lindgren see literally from here to Beijing. He could see there was that clear of a path for him to see everything.
You want to know why the power play was not working when Ivan Demidov was on it? Because they took Ivan Demidov off. They've put Zach Bolduc on because they're looking for a spark. Do you know why it's not working? Because you can't tell Uri Slavkovsky to go into the slot. That is not where he goes. He goes in front of the net. You go in front of the goalie. You screen the goalie. That's what your job is. If you screen the goalie, then the people who are shooting can score. Holy shit. Look, we score that goal against Columbus. The goal that we scored to tie the game is a Lane Hudson shot from the point that, like, it should have been Slavkovsky's goal, by the way, because it tips off of him. But the NHL didn't catch it in their review thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Stat-wise, like, they don't care about their stats. They care about the goal. Slavkovsky, where is he? He's in front of the net. The goalie can't see anything. That's where you need to be. You know, like, they're talking online about how, like, the power play, when Demidov was on the power play, they were like, oh, the problem is that Lane Hudson's shot isn't very intimidating, so all of the, you know, the other players are covering the other four, right? More. They're giving Lane space. Let Lane do whatever he wants to do. It's like, okay, great. But why isn't Lane's shot? Well, a shot from the point, I don't care if Shea Weber is back there. Everybody's going to give Shea Weber space and time if there's nobody in front of the net. The reason Shea Weber's shot was so good, the reason Shea Weber scored so many goals on the damn power play, because when he took a shot from the point, there was somebody standing in front of the goalie. Ask Brendan Gallagher what's that like. That hurts sometimes. Brendan Gallagher got injured, twice? Fractured wrist, fractured, ankle because of that shot from the point. But why was he there? Well, because he's freaking screening the goalie. Get in front of the freaking net.
Yeah, I know. That's how I felt watching the Stars game last week. We had a bunch of power plays and was yelling at the TV. Slavkovsky is just not in the position. They're in literally a star formation, and the entire center of the ice is just open for the goalie to look at whatever the fuck's coming. Marty, what are we doing? What are we doing, Marty? Two biggest takeaways that we got to change. That power play, we need somebody in front of the goalie, and bring up Jacob Fowler.
Yeah, get the Flower up. Get the Flower up. Shout out Marc-Andre Fleury. Did you know that you can be called up by the Habs still, even though you retired? Jacob Fowler, look, I think the big conversation about Jacob Fowler right now, I'm going to tell you what people are saying, then I want you to tell me what you think about it, and I'll say what I think. What people are saying is you shouldn't call up Jacob Fowler right now. Ideally, you leave him down for the whole season, because you don't want something like what happened to Caden Primo to happen to Jacob Fowler, right? What happens to Caden Primo? Caden Primo, great stats in the AHL, dominating. Everybody's like, wow, this kid is amazing. He's going to be fantastic. Comes up to the NHL. First game in the NHL. Gets absolutely rocked. I think he let in 4 goals and 10 shots. Gets pulled. From that day on, Caden Primo, done. He's done. He's now been traded to, he went to Carolina, went to the Leafs.
That argument is so dumb. That argument is so stupid, because at the end of the day, Caden Primo just wasn't cut out for the NHL. Because he went back to the AHL multiple times and put up great stats. Oh, let's bring Caden Primo back. And then he doesn't do anything in the NHL. So, if the same thing happened to Jacob Fowler, maybe he's not NHL caliber. So we just got to try it and see. That's my opinion. We bring him up, see if he can really do it, and then assess where we go from there.
What else have you been hearing? I totally agree with you. And I think there's one extra component to this, is the way that people talk about Jacob Fowler. Right? You listen to how the players who've played with him talk about it. You listen to how the analysts talk about him. Jacob Fowler has a presence to him. You know, he's got aura. He's got this. He's got a Carey Price feel, right? Because you remember, the thing that made Carey Price so much different than any other goaltender we've had in the past 20 years is Carey Price came into that dressing room and everything was calm. He was always calm. He was always collected, always whatever. I think Jacob Fowler's presence, I never heard anybody talk about that with Caden Primo. And I think that's what you need in the NHL. You need, for a goalie to be successful in the NHL, you need to have this underlying confidence in yourself that is so high that it's almost not even confidence anymore. right? It's all just like this vibe.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
And
You know what
nothing
I
can
mean?
shake.
And like that's why like you look at Stuart Skinner. Like you think Stuart Skinner has any kind of vibe to him? Do you think he has any kind of confidence going in? He's like and to me that's the biggest difference when you look at the team this year with the goaltenders. Samuel Montembeault had a sort of a presence last year. He played well enough. I wouldn't even call it a presence though. I feel like he was just playing well, right? He was positionally sound. The defense were clearing pucks when they needed to. It was fine. The difference this year is Montembeault hit a little bit of a stitch at the beginning of the year, and that presence is gone. Whatever confidence he had was gone, and he doesn't have this underlying vibe to him that can lift him out of it, right? He has struggled his way back. He's like trying to claw his way back. And when you try to claw as a goaltender, when you feel like you're sinking and you try to like get back to the surface, bad things happen because you start trying to do too much. You start going away from your fundamentals. You start like drifting away. That's why like Carey Price would have a game where you'd let in 6 goals and he'd come back the next game and have a shutout. And that's why like you look at Jacob Fowler's numbers. I mean, he's the 232 goals against average. That's with 3 shutouts in like 10 games. So the actual goals against average in games that he lets in a goal is way higher. He's had some really bad games, but he has a bad game. He comes back the next day, it's a shutout. Right? That's the kind of thing you need. You need the kind of, hey, doesn't matter what happened. I'm super confident in myself. I know what I can do. I know that I'm ready for this. Go out and does it. That's why Jacob Fowler needs to come up.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I just want to see what he can do, and like I said, we see where we go from there. But going back to last night, do you think pulling Montembeault was too early?
That goal that he let in, oh my god. Listen. My take on goalie pulls, there's 2 reasons you do it, right? One is because you have no faith in the goaltender to make any more saves of the game, right? The second is because your team is getting outplayed and you just need some kind of spark. You need to tell the team to smarten up. That's the 2 reasons you do it. Most of the time, I think it's the second. Like most of the time a goalie gets pulled, a team's getting completely outplayed. There's some tips, there's some crazy plays, whatever. You could never blame the goaltender for those goals, but they let in 4, you're down 2 goals, you need to tell the team to smarten up, change it up, you know? Fine. I get it. Last night, it was 100% the other one. It was 100% that I could have taken a slap shot from center ice. By the way, my slap shots from center ice probably hit the net like 1 out of 20 times. And against Samuel Montembeault last night, it would have gone in. That 3rd goal that he let in, you can't let that in.
Yeah, it's just...
I almost would put him on waivers for letting that in. Like that's how bad that goal was.
Yeah, that's why a guy named Ethan Frank scores twice.
Ethan Frank that scored that goal, that 3rd goal.
Yeah, I know.
Never heard of him in my life. Who has a last name Frank? Like, come on. 2 first names. Is it Ethan Frank or Frank Ethan? No idea.
Yeah, who knows? He's just been making bad plays. Like, I remember watching, it might have been the Bruins game or it was the Stars game, where it was just a simple puck in from the corner that the opposing team just fired into the slot, and it was a whiff. And all he does is poke check it, doesn't look who's around him, and one of the opposing guys gets it and scores on him. Like, he's just not aware of what's going on. Monty is struggling. He's worked his way off of the Team Canada roster.
Monty's struggling. I mean, he's totally off the Team Canada thing. It's not even a question anymore. Jakob Dobush is like equally like I don't know what's going on with the guy. Now, to his credit, he's a rookie, right? Like he's still a rookie in the NHL. He's only played like 24 or 5 games in his career in the NHL. And like last night, I don't really know if you can blame him for. There were some goals I wish he would have had when he's facing the skater. But like I felt like he did everything. He was playing confident. He was outside of his net. Washington just put the pucks, like had perfect shots against him. It's like, okay, well, sure.
But yeah, it was
You want to know a fun stat from last night?
that he had a... Actually, no, he was better than Monton. Okay, yeah, tell me the stat.
Did you know that this season, this game was not the highest expected goals against us in a game for the season?
What was?
It was actually not even the 2nd highest. It's the 3rd. Oh my gosh, it's the 4th highest expected goals against. 4th highest. Obviously, number 1 is Washington. Sorry. Number 4 is Washington. Number 3 is against Boston that night.
The other game, that was 3-2?
The Saturday game, yeah. There's 5.4 goals expected against us. We actually had Montembeault played very well in that game. 3rd highest is in that Ottawa game that we played. we beat Ottawa, I think, in overtime that game. Great goaltending that game. And then the first one was against the Buffalo Sabres. But against the Buffalo Sabres, again, this is the funny part, right? Against the Buffalo Sabres, we generated 4.6 goals for, and they had 5.72 expected goals against us.
Guys, what's going on? All I'm saying is I'm going to both of your games when you guys come to Buffalo in January. You're coming twice to Buffalo. So I really don't want to see that. I don't want to see that happen. I'd be really miserable to spend that much money on tickets and then see you guys do that.
Did
So
you
please.
get your tickets?
Not yet. I'm going to. Yeah.
Shout out to all of the resellers out there. If you buy up all of the tickets, Nathan will want to buy one, so you'll be able to increase your price on one ticket.
There you go. Yeah, you got one buyer at least, even though the arena will be packed. It will be sold out with red.
Sold out for sure. Yeah, especially, I mean, Tage Thompson, like, coming back to Buffalo night. Like, what a great night that'll be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once that trade gets done, my words, 17th, we are going to acquire Tage Thompson.
December 17th. I like it. I like the call.
You never know. You never ever know. What else? What else did we see this week? Suzuki didn't play fantastic. He had a whole lot of ice time last night, but
I mean, Suzuki's been playing injured.
yeah, it's true.
I had some. I mean, obviously, we wanted to keep this episode a little bit shorter. I'm gonna share my screen with you. I was looking at some interesting stats, and I wanted to know what you think about it. All right, okay. So we're on evolving hockey. Obviously, how big can I make this? This big? There you go. That stays on the screen. We're on evolving hockey. This is your team charts. Okay. This specific one is for Corsi, but they have some other ones, and I thought they're very interesting. Okay. The first one I want to do is face-offs. So when you look at face-offs, right? This is the number of face-off wins per 60, number of face-off losses per 60. Note that as you go down the diagonal, right, from the top to the bottom, there are more face-offs in a game. Because, you know, if you win 30 and you lose 30, that means there were 60 face-offs. If you only lost 24, you know, and you win 24, that means there's only 48 face-offs. In this corner, Colorado, Carolina, this stands out to me. The total number of face-offs in Colorado and Carolina games is way more than anybody else in the NHL. And who are the top two teams in the league?
Colorado, Carolina.
So my question to you here, right? What do you think these teams are doing? I mean, part of it's going to be shots, right? Part of it's just like the raw number of shots that they're taking. There's going to be more face-offs, right? They're playing better hockey. They're getting pucks to the net, more stoppages just from that. Do you think there's anything else that we can read into this as to how they're playing hockey? To like, because like you used to look at Montreal. Montreal's got some of the fewest shots.
It's just
face-offs per game.
pressuring the net and forcing the goalie to freeze the puck more often. I think that's what it comes down to. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, I was wondering if it's also just the style of play is like Montreal's been very fluid. I think it's been very wait for the best opportunities, wait for the like try to get the perfect passes, you know, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I feel like Colorado, Carolina is just get the puck to the net, just get it there, get the freeze, you know, take a face off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't overthink it. They just they do what they need to do.
To that effect, I mean, look at the shots, right? Shots 4 per 60. We're at 24. Colorado's at 34. Now, not, you know, shooting more is not always good at Calgary, right? Quality of shots matters. That's where you go into like expected goals, right? Where's your, oh, look at that. Your expected goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would have guessed that these teams would be over here?
Teams in the league. Who would have thought?
Well, look at
Seattle, holy Vancouver.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Seattle, Vancouver, San Jose, Winnipeg, the Islanders. I mean, this is why, like, this is for Toronto fans, this is like, this gap, Montreal to Toronto, that's a big gap. There's another fun one. Let's look at our penalties. You know, I'm always complaining about the amount of penalties that we don't get called. Look at that. Look at Montreal down here. We're basically getting an extra penalty kill every game, or every 3 games. What else is fun? Oh, let's look at hits. Hits are fun, right? Because you go, okay, well, you know, in the traditional NHL, hits are a big thing. Toronto, fantastic on the hitting front. Not getting hit. Guess what? That kind of hockey gets you second last in the East right now.
Yeah.
Look at Carolina down here. They're getting hit a lot. They don't really care about hitting. Colorado getting hit less, but still not getting, is still about the same amount of hits per game. right? Regular season hockey, man. Finally, icings.
The icings.
Icings. This goes back to the other thing, right? Is like look at Carolina over here. They're icing the puck a lot.
Minnesota. Oh my God.
Look at Minnesota. This is actually crazy, right? This is like insane. Like you're icing the puck like
Twice.
almost 3 times less per game. But again, like the teams I wanted to highlight here, right? Colorado, Carolina, right? Where's Montreal? Right? It goes back to like the whole face-off thing. When you slow down the game, I feel like in a lot of these games, I think one of the things that Carolina does, and this Carolina, Colorado both do, they control the pace of the game. They're always able to like take a step back and like see what's going on. I feel like I mean the thing with the face-offs especially, right? We're controlling the game 100 times less than for on than Carolina, Colorado. Like these guys, this is what this is showing, right? To me, at least.
No, I agree. This is interesting. How much do you pay for this a month?
Too much. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's gonna make me money eventually, ideally, but
eventually.
Yeah.
Through the podcast?
No.
Through a job?
No. Actually, I don't want to. Let's throw something up. I'm curious now because I have it.
Okay, wait. Can we do this another time? I do got to get going soon.
Yeah. I just wanted. We were talking about Matt Schaefer over here. We checked him out once this season already. This is after playing more. This is after playing a higher level of competition. 18 years old, boys and girls. Matt Schaefer on Team Canada this year. We're calling it now.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
All right. Do you want to wrap us up?
Yep. That's another episode in the books. We're going to come back to you next week once again. Let's see who we are playing. We have a few games coming up, if this will load.
We've got the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday. The Utah Mammoth on the 26th. I believe that's a Wednesday.
So we have 2 games before we catch you guys again. Yeah.
And we've got the Vegas Golden Knights on Black Friday.
Okay.
At 4:00 in the afternoon.
We need 2 wins here. We really need 2 wins over these next 3 games. So once again, to those of you that have made it to this point in a shorter episode, thank you. We appreciate you all very much. And make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Again, if you subscribe and you're one of the next 6 subscribers, you're entered into that giveaway, which we'll be announcing once we hit 100 subscribers. So thank you for your support. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And make sure that you follow us on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast content. And make sure that you follow us there as well. And leave us a review. It really helps us grow. It's free for you, and we would really appreciate it. And that's all for this week. Hopefully we'll be back again with some fantastic news next week. And as always, au revoir et bonne soirée.